the new nominee is going to be... Howdy, y'all. I'm Brylan. Well, it's officially official. I did a video this past Thursday talking about how Biden planned to drop out and detailing the Dems' new plans on what we're gonna see take place after he announces his dropout, and got a lot of flack for that video because it wasn't officially official. Well, here we go. Here's the officially official part. This is Biden's official Instagram page, officially official. He just put up this announcement. Now we're going to look at this statement, and then I'm going to show you, again, the Democrats' plans, or some plans that they could have. But, and it's a big but, we're going to look at who Biden surprisingly endorsed, but who is actually being said is going to be the nominee. They are two different people, believe it or not. And let's just say that either option is terrifying. So here's the statement from Biden. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Lie. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. Lie. You notice he doesn't say that America has the strongest economy that America has ever had. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years. Safety law. Yeah, because the only safe way to have guns in a society is for only criminals to have them. Appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. That is a tremendously horrifying lie. The world is looking at us and laughing at us. If it wasn't, Biden wouldn't be stepping down. Don't forget that. We are at a terrible place, probably the worst position that we have ever been in as a nation in pretty much every conceivable way. And that's why you're seeing people start to wake up and say, wait a minute, I fell for the lies. Maybe we didn't have it so bad. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy. Notice that he doesn't say constitutional republic. And we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Now, this is another thing to keep in mind is that the remainder of his term, if he's not able to actually run for re-election, remember, the people voted for Biden. Or the Democrats voted for Biden. If he's not able to continue to be the nominee and serve another 4 years, why are we still playing the game that he's cognitively capable to continue to run the country now? But we are absolutely in one of the worst positions we have ever been in as a nation. And every other nation sees that, and they are taking advantage of that. And even though he doesn't give a reason, it is because of what we've seen as far as his cognitive decline. Just at an exponential rate, especially recently, but it's been that way for years. He goes on, I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do. When we do it together, we just have to remember we are the United States of America. Officially signed by Biden. Now, before we talk about who Biden just endorsed and who the possible nominees are going to be, this was actually a story that was broke several days ago, announcing almost to the T what's going on right now. It talks about how the plans are to announce a withdrawal from nomination as early as this weekend, most likely on Sunday, which is today as of filming this video, and that Biden will not resign the presidency. Biden will not endorse Harris. This one, you're going to find out more about that one in just a second. Open convention with Harris and 3 others. And then it's the superdelegates will not be allowed to vote on the first ballot. But the thing is that, with Harris kind of being the one that steps up, if it's her, then they would be able to keep all the financial stuff would just work out better. But it talks about who Harris is vetting. So this has already been in the works. Don't pretend, let's not pretend that this just happened out of the blue. This has been in the works, and Harris has been vetting a man named Andy Beshear and possibly even Josh Shapiro. These are both governors. I show in my video right here, talking several days ago, talking about how he's going to drop out. I show Andy Beshear and Josh Shapiro. Go watch that video to find out more about them. It would be a truly terrifying thing, actually, to have one of them as a vice president. Now, I want you to see this. Check this out. This is on Joe Biden's official Instagram page. Once again, he just posted this in the middle of me filming this video. He posted, "I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." While we might rejoice that Biden is dropping out, it really was kind of a shoo-in if Biden didn't drop out. So that's the thing. We have to be careful how much we rejoice about this, because think of someone like Kamala Harris having the helm, being the president of the United States. That is a terrifying thing. Plus, I showed you the VP picks, and the whole thing is a disaster. I mean, God's in control. God is sovereign. But that doesn't mean that we should ignore the fact that it is a dark time coming if for whatever reason, Kamala and someone like Andy Beshear were to be president and vice president. Don't underestimate how easy it is for people to be complacent and sit back and not go out and vote. And also, don't underestimate how easily people can be duped into following this depravity that's saturating our society today. So we actually didn't know if Biden was going to endorse Kamala, but, he just came out and endorsed Kamala. There's got to be something else behind this, because there's actually been word and reports saying that the new nominee is going to be Hillary. Again, if the Democrats come together at their convention and decide to vote their own way against the people, like they do the thing where they're not actually, taking over democracy, their democracy, right? We have to save democracy by not allowing you to have an actual voice. It's so bizarre. But if Hillary Clinton is the nominee, then they're going to make it happen. But there's reports that it is going to be Hillary. Now that Biden did come out and show support for Kamala, that does change some things here. Then it sounds like, at this point, you're looking at either Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton. Again, Hillary, we could have, either way, it's going to be the first president if they were to actually win, because people are, then we would have the first president in American history to have their pronouns in their bio. I mean, just progress. That's the thing, is that I think they're desperately trying to figure out their best possible route, and there really isn't one that makes a whole lot of sense. Kamala is one of the most unlikable politicians in the government right now, and Hillary really isn't that far behind. So let's remember this above all things. 1 Timothy chapter 2, it says this: "First of all, then, I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for all people, for kings, and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of God, our Savior." It doesn't matter the outcome of elections. We are commanded to pray for the leaders in of nations, in our country, in America today. It applies to us today that we should be praying for our leaders. We should pray for presidents and senators and all those, anybody with a governmental position. It doesn't matter how we feel about them, if they're on our side or not, we should be praying for them. That ultimately God's will would be done and God would be glorified and honored in what is done in our nation. And today we live in such a time that you look around at society and we are in such a major decline, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. In every single way, our nation is in absolute collapse societally, and we are just being destroyed under the weight of our own sin that we have brought on to ourselves. You know, what we can do right now is pray that God's hedge of protection would be over us in this nation, and that America would come back and honor God and be blessed by God, because ultimately God's will is going to be done. So no matter what happens in this next election, we need to be praying that God's favor and protection be over us, and that He would spare us the most evil choice for the presidency this election. But hey, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, join this community. I would love to hear from you regularly. And please hit that thumbs up button. You know, when you like this video, it'll get pushed out to more people and it would really help spread the truth. All right, I'll see you in the next video.